In this episode, we're going to talk about how to drive more traffic to your website as a podcast guest. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for today's episode of Interview Connections TV. I'm filming this about 3.5 weeks out from my due date, and I trust that when you see this, I will have already had the baby, but as you can tell, still have the table belly here. So getting some videos filmed. In today's episode, I want to talk about when you're a podcast guest. Usually, almost I would say 99% of the time, the host will ask you at the end of the interview, how can listeners connect with you? How can listeners learn more? Where can they get more from you? That is your time to give a really clear call to action to the listeners. Recently, I was interviewing someone for my podcast, and she gave such an amazing interview, gave tons of amazing, valuable content that I wanted more. I was ready to sign up for her webinar and get her ebook and I wanted more information. There were a lot of different calls to action. There were, different websites to visit, emails, Twitters, just a lot of different places to go. And I thought, okay, I want more information, but I'm not exactly sure the best place now. She's given me a lot to work with. So after the recording, I said, hey, can I offer a quick suggestion? And so what we talked about was how when you end an interview, you don't want, listeners are now hungry for more information. You want to give them a really clear call to action so they have one thing to do that you've asked them to do. So if your ultimate goal is to get people to download an ebook that you have, you need to tell them exactly where that ebook is and how they can get it. Nothing more. No social media, no other websites. You want to tell them exactly where they can go to get that. If you want somebody to get your webinar, you just want to tell them at the end of the interview how they can get your webinar, where to sign up, and that's it. You don't want to give listeners too many options or else they won't know what to do. Just like on a website, if you get to a website and there's like a million different options, you won't know where to start and you'll likely just bounce off and go to another website. As a podcast guest, have a very clear call to action at the end of your interviews. That's going to get more listeners to take that action, get more listeners to your website, which is going to generate more and better and stronger leads in your business. Be sure to check out my podcast, Roads to Success, at rtspodcast.com. If you want to learn how we can work together, go to interviewconnections.com/guest. That's where you can learn all about our guest expert booking services, and check out my blog at jessicarhodes.biz, weekly articles there about being a great podcast guest, having a great show, and other articles about entrepreneurship and personal development. I am Jessica Rhodes. I'm committed to helping you leverage your brand through the power of authority and expertise. Catch us next Tuesday for another video at interviewconnections.tv. Take care, everyone.
Can only run a place on the shoes. Battle up the essence, man.